everyone, my name is Natasha Dehaney, and today I will be presenting my ISU presentation on the Special Anti-Robbery Squad in Nigeria, which is also known as SARS. The facts. The Special Anti-Robbery Squad stormed into two Nigerian cities and used excessive force to stop a peaceful protest, which was to end police brutality. Countless of people have died or sought out medical attention since the incident in October 2020. There still has not been any form of prosecution for these squad members. And lastly, victims are fighting for justice and are gaining attention from others globally. The issue is, are President Muhammadu Buhari and the Nigerian government negligent for not taking more action to end impunity for police violence for the sake of the victims that are still waiting for justice? The legal significance. This has helped raise public attention towards the human rights violations committed by SARS and contributed towards a push for police reform. Some information about Nigeria. Nigeria is officially named the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and this country is located on the west coast of Africa on the Gulf of Guinea. The current president of Nigeria is Muhammadu Buhari, who is the 15th president. This country is home to 195.9 million citizens, approximately, and is known for its diverse ethnicities, traditions, languages, and butterfly species. Nicknamed Giant of Africa, Nigeria is the biggest economy in terms of nominal GDP, the gross domestic product, in Africa. While the contributions of the agriculture industry, which accounts for approximately 70% of the country's employment, the petroleum products are the primary source of more than 90% of Nigeria's exports. Who/what is SARS? SARS is a Special Anti-Robbery Squad, which was established in 1984 in response to an epidemic of violent crimes including robberies, carjackings, and kidnappings. The international human rights issue. Lekki and Aluwusa are cities in Lagos State, Nigeria, that have been affected by the Nigerian SARS units who wrongfully opened fire on thousands of people who were peacefully calling for good governance and an end to police brutality. This squad has been allegedly involved in a widespread of human rights violations, such as extrajudicial killings, torture, arbitrary arrests, unlawful detention, and extortion. As dozens of protesters are arrested, police has denied protesters access to their lawyers and only released them following the intervention of senior government officials. In addition to this, SARS members deliberately targeted victims, including men and women between the ages of 18 to 25, coming from low-income backgrounds and vulnerable groups of those with tattoos, dreadlocks, and visible possessions such as phones and laptops. So a short video I found explaining the SARS and the protesting that is happening in Nigeria is right here.
Thousands of young people in Nigeria are on the streets protesting against a police squad called SARS. But why? I'm Yasha Michelle. Here are 5 things you need to know about the End SARS protest. SARS stands for the Special Anti-Robbery Squad and was formed to protect the Nigerian public from armed robbery and violent crime. But the unit itself is accused of corruption, torture, and killing. The recent protest started after a video appeared online in early October showing a young man allegedly being shot at by SARS officers. The End SARS hashtag went viral and online protests spilled into the streets, demanding an end to the unit. Nigerian celebrities like Wizkid, Tiwa Savage, John Boyega, and Fald have all helped the issue get global attention.
Every young person here is personal because even if they haven't been personally harassed, either their friend or their brother or sister or somebody close to them has been harassed.
SARS had developed a reputation with some Nigerians for allegedly unfairly profiling young people. Anyone considered flashy for having a nice car, laptop, tattoos, or even dreadlocks could have attracted the attention of SARS officers. With more than 60% of Nigeria's population younger than 24, they're the ones who've been leading the protest. However, these mostly peaceful demonstrations have been disrupted by police. Amnesty International say that people have been killed in the protests, including a police officer. After a few days of protest, Nigeria's president responded by disbanding SARS. President Buhari said this was only the first step in a range of reforms, but that the reputation of the force should not be tarnished by a few bad eggs. Many are fearful of the officers being redeployed to other parts of the police force and have rejected a replacement unit called SWAT. The protesters are continuing their fight for lasting police reform and achieved one of their demands as Nigeria's police chief released all demonstrators that were arrested during the protests. After a summer of global protests against police brutality, Nigerians want the world to know about the issues in their country. With demonstrations of solidarity in the UK, Canada, Germany and the US, it's not just Nigerians who are now supporting the cause. So that's it, you're now up to date with the End SARS protests. For more content like this, please subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Violations of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. The wrongdoing of SARS unit violates the Universal Declaration of Human Rights because citizens can rightfully hold a peaceful protest as it is guaranteed by the Nigerian Constitution and the international human rights law. The unnecessary excessive force to disperse protesters is deemed unlawful. This goes against human rights such as Article 3, the right to life, liberty, and the security of a person, and Article 5, freedom from torture. No one has the right to inflict or subject anyone to cruel or inhumane treatment. Basically, I found two conventions that I feel like went against human rights violations that SARS members are guilty of indulging in. So the first one is Conventions Against Torture and Other Cruel, Inhuman, or Degrading Treatment or Punishment. This convention exclusively deals with torture and is known as the most important human rights treaty. This treaty prohibits and prevents all forms of cruel, inhuman, and degrading actions in every circumstance. SARS members actively took part in countless acts of extrajudicial killings, torture, and rape which goes against this treaty. Civilians of Nigeria peacefully protested against police brutality, which resulted in unjustified treatment and several deaths. The second convention is the Convention on the Prevention and Punishment of Crime of Genocide. This convention defines genocide as if any of the following acts are committed to deliberately destroy a whole or a part of a national, ethnic, racial, or religious group. The SARS members have been found participating in killing members, contributing to bodily harm, and purposely indulging to bring physical destruction in a whole or in part. Not only did SARS members target specific citizens, police actually shot tear gas, water cannons, and live rounds at protesters, killing and wounding many others. Global change, #EndSARS. Globally, people have responded to the unjust acts of SARS by creating the #EndSARS movement on October 8, 2020. Celebrities and others have expressed their emotions via social media using the #EndSARS, and with the contributions from the youth, they've championed a liberation movement by protesting on the streets, vowing to continue fighting until a meaningful change was made. As Nigeria is a member of the United Nations and Commonwealth, its human rights violations has led to a petition to be made calling on the UK and the US government to prohibit Nigerian government leaders and the police hierarchy until police reform is delivered. Amnesty International is one of the many that are taking action to end the impunity of SARS in Nigeria by allowing individuals to email President Muhammadu Buhari and the Attorney General to demand the reform of police in Nigeria and the prosecution of police officers accused of police brutality and violence. Organizations such as Feminist Coalition, Diasporans Against SARS, and Asada Collective are contributing to the EndSARS movement by fundraising money for necessities such as human rights and medical care. Did the international community/law/treaties fail this country? In many ways, yes, I personally believe that this country has been failed. I believe this because now that this issue is grabbing the attention of other countries, Nigeria is now trying to put a stop to these problems instead of stopping these problems previous years when this issue first began. President Muhammadu Buhari is now only choosing to commit to an extensive police reformation now that it has become public knowledge that people have died and been involved in unjust treatment. In addition to this, a 24-hour curfew decree and the deployment of Nigerian military forces to quell further demonstrations was made. I think this is not effective as the curfew does not reverse the crimes they have committed, but in actuality just puts it on pause. Once again, SARS officers are publicly known to be hardly investigated or been brought to justice for their horrible crimes. In several years, police officers and authorities typically promised investigations when cases became public knowledge but never carried out. The government is known for attempting to papering over issues and not fixing it. For instance, terminating and prosecuting officers, which resulted in Nigeria's police force to be ranked the worst in the world. And lastly, without termination from the government, this unit is slowly evolving into the same problem it has been created to stop. In other words, a criminal enterprise that acts with impunity. If you were a world leader, what would you have done/do? As a leader, I would like to unite all citizens of Nigeria. The first step would be finding justice for those who are victims of the wrongdoings of SARS, and I would hold all members accountable for their actions. Utilizing my power would be done by educating the violators that violating human rights will not be tolerated. Creating laws would be the ideal way to decrease the amount of human rights violations. Examples would be terminating the abuses of extrajudicial killings, torture, arbitrary arrests, unlawful detention, and extortion. The members of SARS have been stripping people of human rights for several years, and for a change, as a leader, I must contribute to try to end the impunity of SARS and move towards systemic reform. Besides, I would like to utilize the responses that we have gotten on a global level to create support and awareness. I would want to reach out to different countries in hopes of receiving support towards medical care and lawyers for those in need. And lastly, what can students your age do about these violations? Students can support the hashtag #EndSARS movement from afar by completing simple tasks such as educate yourself on the topic, join protests, support Global Goal 16, which is for peace, justice, and strong institutions, spread awareness using social media platforms using the hashtag #EndSARS, fundraise money with organizations that offer GoFundMe, and sign petitions which are found on change.org. I would like to thank everyone for listening to my presentation. Thank you very much and have a great day/afternoon.